This is the Dreyer podcast, a podcast all about siblings and the people, places, and pop culture that raised us. In today's episode, I talk a little bit about the anxiety that I have about an upcoming ballet recital, which of course triggers a story for Jacqueline about a dance recital that she was in as a child and her inability to dance as part of a group, which of course then triggers a story from me about a failed dance attempt in front of my entire school. After we wrap up those stories, we jump into today's main topic, which is all about the mystery of the two gyms and a conversation about nature versus nurture. And then we wrap up this episode the same way we wrap up every single episode of the Dreyer Drive podcast, with an unhinged text message from a family member. And this week's unhinged text message comes from Jacqueline, and it's a message about somebody in our family being dramatic. Let's do this.
We're both wearing our black hoodies, and it's funny because we're talking about something that has something to do with what,
black
like
hoodies?
us showing up dressed the same. Like, you'll see. Did you get a haircut?
Yeah, I cut it all off. So I do this. I go through the cycle where I grow my hair out for like 8 months of the year or 6 months of the year, and then I just go into my barber. I'm like, "Can you cut it all off?" And he's always nervous to cut it off.
You should post the pictures of. Remember when we did our family photo shoot where it was really cold by the lighthouse and Daniel was late and you had like a full man bun and the longest beard ever? I think it would like blow people's mind to see you look like that.
Yeah. Like I had at least twice in my life, I've grown like an 8-month beard where it's like, you can't tell if I'm wearing a V-neck. Like you're like, is this guy turtleneck? Yeah, could be wearing a turtleneck, a crew neck, a V-neck. No one knows.
Ew. Yeah, that photo shoot, everybody was extremely angry because Daniel showed up half an hour late, and it was winter. I think it must have been around Christmas time. Like,
it was
we must have been
Day, perhaps.
Okay. So, and of course, we decided to do it by the lake because Lake Ontario is very iconic and picturesque. But when you're near a lake, it is freezing cold. The wind off the lake is ice, and so we were just like being pelted by this ice wind, waiting for Daniel to show up while we're paying this photographer to also stand there. And we always, whenever we do family pictures, we have to do this thing where it's like, okay, Daniel's not here, just do the other families first while we wait for Daniel. And then we still wait another half an hour for Daniel.
Seiko has not forgiven him to this day.
Every time I see those pictures, I'm like, we were all so freaking mad in those pictures, and it shows. No one is smiling.
Yeah. And then my favorite part about our family in general is that like you can't get mad at one of us without us getting re-mad or reverse mad at you.
Yeah.
So like Dan showed up and we're like, bro, where have you been? We've been standing out here for an hour and a half. We can't feel, there's kids here. They can't feel their feet. Like, what were you thinking? And then all of a sudden he flips into anger mode. He's like, I had to deal with some stuff too. Like, what do you have to deal with? Waking up, getting in your warm car to arrive here to see your family freezing and angry.
And what's like, he didn't have kids in that picture, right? No. It's like, so he had no one else to get ready. That's the thing. Like, who were you dealing with? You don't have children at this point in time. I was pregnant in those pictures. I was dealing with it. I was very angry. And those pictures are very like doom and gloom. They're very like gray and blue because it was not a nice day when we did them. It's just like the mood. It was the whole mood of those pictures.
And Seiko, in those situations, like she always brings up the most rational thing to the most irrational person. So I'm the irrational person. Yeah. I know in other episodes, I'm like, I'm the most rational person. Yes, sometimes I am. Okay. When we're analyzing Jacqueline's journal, I'm the most rational. Previous episode, go listen to that. But when it's not analyzing Jacqueline's journal, I'm the most irrational person. So Seiko's like, so Dan shows up late and Seiko's like, why don't you say something to him? I'm like, there's no point. There's no point even saying something to this guy because he's just going to get angry at me. And so I'm getting mad at Seiko now, who's like saying something pretty rational to me. Like, why don't you point out the fact that he's late? Or she'll always do like, why don't you just tell them? I'm like, I can't because they're going to get angry at me. Then I have to deal with it. And now it's just another thing I have to deal with. And now I'm angry for her saying something just completely expected and rational. Like, your family, you should be able to say that.
The good thing is we both married people who validate all of our feelings all the time, which is a blessing and a curse because I'm constantly validated for my bad behavior. I'm married to someone who's like, you should feel that way. And I'm just like screaming about someone who was in my way at the grocery store.
Yeah, Seiko's never like, they might have been having a really bad day.
No.
She's always like, I agree. That person is unhinged.
And now both of you are mad.
What are those things called? Like the fire blower? That's Seiko. She's going.
But like, there's nothing more satisfying than being mad and your partner being mad with you. Like a good just like anger sesh with your loved one. It's the most satisfying thing in the world. That's why you get married.
Nothing brings people closer together than anger.
Than hatred.
Unified, targeted anger.
Yeah. That's why I watch reality television. Is because I love reality, and people always make fun of my taste in TV because I watch trash, like the pure trash on TV. It's been established, and one of the reasons I love
Traitors
that was insane. Just so you know, the last season of Traitors was crazy. But I love reality TV because the people on reality TV are just like usually the scum of the earth. Like, and it's so easy to hate them. And while watching them, like you feel like the righteous anger that you feel while you're watching like dumb people on reality TV, it feels so good. That's why I watch so much reality TV. That's why I'm watching Love Island every day in the summer. And sorry, I have to crack open a crispy caffeine-free Diet Coke right now.
Isn't it like this is midnight where you are?
It's caffeine free. It's caffeine free.
It still has sugar and syrup and anyway.
I gotta have a little treat.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, good. I'm ready now.
Back to your statement around you only watch. Sorry, you said I think all reality TV people are trash. I'd like to introduce
scum.
this week's.
I said scum.
Yes, scum. I'd like to introduce this week's sponsor is actually Netflix's next season of Love on the Spectrum. What are you doing, Jacqueline?
Okay. Love on the Spectrum is the only exception to the rule. You know that. You know I love Love on the Spectrum.
Why would you? I cry
every episode of Love on the Spectrum.
We are never getting another sponsorship dollar. You ruin it every time.
But Love is Blind, which is a different love.
Jacqueline, Seiko watches that. Seiko watches that nonstop. I'll go out there. I'm like, what are you watching? She's like, Love is Blind season 362, France. I'm like, what? She watches all the seasons in all the languages. And I have no idea.
Love is Blind is incredible because, again, it's the worst people you know getting together and torturing each other. And you're like, let me clock in for this.
And then so you and Justin watch these together and then your anger is unified and like the Ghostbusters.
We love to talk about those people. Yeah, it just like amps each other up. Like that's our favorite thing to do is watch trash and complain about the trash that we're watching. That's 23 years of marriage, people. That's how we've been together as long as we have.
And I love that when that anger can be realized, it brings people together. When that anger cannot be realized by one of the parties, it is now an anger that is directed at the other person. I don't know if you're the same, but what I mean is when Seiko is saying, why don't you say something to him? And you can't say something to him because you know now you cannot unify that anger. Now I've got two streams of anger. One is directed at, actually it's three. It's three. One is directed at Dan. One is directed at Seiko. One is directed at myself for not being man enough to just speak my mind. And like a perfect example.
One day.
Yeah, perfect example of this happened last week where Noah had a kindergarten reunion. As you do.
Okay, sure.
So she went to this kindergarten and then like after the kindergarten year was finished, it's like ninja, skata. And everyone scattered and they all went to like my Ninja Turtles. It's like Ninja Vanished and then there's another one that's a Ninja
Got it.
They went to like, I think like maybe 6 different elementary schools. So we go to this reunion. And I'm just as excited as Noah. Parents are allowed to go. So like we went, me and Seiko, and we brought Naya with us. And we showed up and it was like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. Oh my gosh, look how big Naya is. Oh my gosh, look at Noah. And they're like, all into it. They're playing some games and whatever. And when we're finished, we go outside and we're going to take a group photo of all the kids in front of the kindergarten. And so they get there and Seiko's nowhere to be found. She's like in the corner with the other moms, just enjoying life while I am holding an actual gremlin, Naya, and trying to like do the group photo. And Naya's in just let me do it all. Like I can do it. Daddy, I've got this. She doesn't say any of this. She just grunts or
she shows
screams.
you. She shows you.
She screams. And so she really wanted to take the photo, right, with her hand in front of the lens, and that's not working. So like we're kind of wrestling. So I get like a couple good photos, and then I'm like, fine, like just take it. Just here, you go, you hold my phone. And at that point, she decided she was also done with this. So she just tossed the phone. And when she tossed the phone, it landed perfectly screen down. It didn't bounce at all. Ooh. And I knew from the sound, right? Like it wasn't like, it was like a single clap. It was just like, and I was like, no. And the Japanese mother beside me, she turned to me and she goes, oh, that's a scary sound in Japanese. And I was like, I was like, it's okay. And I take my phone, I look at it. The screen is shattered. The whole screen is ruined. And so I'm like, no, it's all good. Like, it's just a screen. Like, whatever. It's just, I've got so many iPhones. Like, it doesn't even matter. This one doesn't even matter to me anymore. And I am fuming like on the inside. Like, absolutely fuming. And I'm mad at so many things. I'm mad that we're on a hill. I'm mad that I'm not on the, like, the dirt part of the parking lot. I'm on the concrete part. I'm mad that I had to pretend that it's cool. I'm mad that Seiko's not there. I'm mad that I'm holding this gremlin. I'm mad that we couldn't stop after 2 photos. We had to retake them. So many things that just can't be realized. That's not the main anger part of the story. So I put my phone in my pocket.
Shocking.
And yeah, just trying to get everybody together, just trying to make this all happen now so I can get in the car and just let it fly. And we get in the car. Everyone's in such a good mood from this reunion. Seiko's flying high, talked to the other moms.
Flying high.
Noah just met all her good friends. Naya, whatever, she got some snacks and got to wear my shoes around the deck for a bit.
She got to whip a phone at the ground.
She got to throw a phone.
My favorite.
No one even stopped her. And then so I unleash about how my phone's broken. I just want to get home and I can't believe it, whatever. So I get home, book my appointment at the Apple store to go and get my screen fixed, or not the Apple store, whatever, the premium reseller or whatever it's called out here.
Yeah.
So book my appointment for the next day. I show up and I'm like, hi, I've booked an appointment to have my screen fixed. And they're like, sure. Yeah, that's no problem. Have you backed up your phone? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, can you check? I'm like, do we need to do this for a screen? They're like, uh-huh. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, yeah, it says my backup was, last year around the same time. They go, okay, you're going to want to back it up. I'm like, how long does this normally take? They're like,
it's going to take some time.
Several hours. I'm like, okay. So I run the backup and it actually went really fast because I guess I didn't have like the settings for a lot of things get backed up. And then she goes, okay, now what about your photos? I'm like, are they not part of the backup? She's like, you have to back them up separately. I'm like, cool. All right, let me just check that. So we're going through together and she's like, it says you've got like 3,780 unbacked up photos. I'm like, okay, cool. How long does that take? She's like, it'll take several days. I'm like, I'm sorry. What? She's like, yeah, it'll take a few days. I'm like, are you sure? The last one was really quick. She's like, well, you could try right now if you want, like see how quick it's going to go. And like, so I'm like, all right. So I go and I press to like back up the photos. And I take a few steps out into the showroom floor, and each like little obstacle, it's a very high multiplier on the anger scale.
I'm laughing because I know exactly what this is like.
Yeah. So every inconvenience is now like a 10x of like making me angry.
Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, great. Amazing. That's what I thought was going to happen. Awesome. This is perfect.
And then I start getting very irrational. And my go-to one right now is like, oh, great, another thing I have to do. Like my list of things in life is so long that like standing in a mall for 15 minutes to figure out if I can back up my phone is like, oh, great. Just another thing I need to manage in my life. Do you know, I don't commute to work. I work from home. I drop Noah off every day. I pick her up every day. Like my schedule's not that packed. But to me, I'm like, great, another thing. But I don't have time for this. But I can't realize the anger because I'm also trying to be the best customer this woman has ever seen in her life.
Yeah, because you want her to go home and talk to her family and be like, the most amazing customer came in today.
He ran into so many obstacles and not once did he even let on.
Customer of the month.
Can we get next time he comes, I'm taking a picture of him.
Put a plaque on the wall.
And why did she say next time? Because I had to book another appointment to go in there and go in 2 days later because it actually did take 3 days to back up all of my photos before I went back in there. And there was a guy who almost ruined the whole thing. So I go back in, I had 3 days to manage the whole thing. And I go back in, and this is a very long story that is not even that exciting. But I go back in, and this like, I would say like the guy you would expect to work at the Genius Bar.
Got it.
Came up. And he like,
cool.
Anything I say is going to it's going to sound terrible. Just like, whatever you imagine, that's who he was. And
You're right.
I'm like, let your imagination do the discrimination. All right.
You do the work.
Yeah. You do the heavy lifting on this one. You let your biases do the heavy lifting on this one. So he comes around and he goes, oh, you're on the beta software program. I'm like, yeah, I am. He's like, did you back up all of your contacts and did you back up your photos on a separate backup service? I'm like, no, I did not. I was in here 2 days ago. That was not mentioned. And he goes, sometimes when you're on the beta program and you try to restore, because your iCloud and the beta program are not the same operating system, you're going to lose everything. I'm like, so what do I do? He's like, well, you can back this all up on a separate service, go into Google and back up. And you're like, you know what? I don't even care about my contacts that much. Screw it.
Yeah,
if I lose them, you're never going to hear from me again. All right. Let them go. All right. Real ones will stick around. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm sure. He's like, what about the photos? And I quickly open up. I'm like, look, I've got them on Google Photos. I've got them on Amazon Photos. I've got them on iCloud. I think we're good. He's like, you're good.
I think we're good.
Did it. I pick it up an hour later. Literally nothing was lost. Everything was restored. All of this for a screen. Thank you, Naya. Thank you.
Perfect.
And the whole point of this is not once was I able to realize all of the anger that I was feeling. And Seiko, when I told her about this, had the wonderful soundbite that I've already introduced to you. Like, why didn't you say something? Just why don't you say something to them?
And you're already at home. It's been 2 hours. Like, what do you want from me at this point?
And it's also not their fault, right? But she's like, kind of like, just like, well, then say it, coward. And I'm like, and I don't think she actually wants me to say it. I think she's really trying to get me to realize how ridiculous it is that I have these feelings over something
angry
so
and
small.
that like you need an outlet for it. My family knows that I'm full of rage when I start calling everyone guy. Like that's my tell.
All right, guy.
Guy. Okay, guy. Okay, no, guy. Go ahead. And they're like, Mom, that's a lady. I'm like, I don't care. Everybody, if you're making me mad, you're guy. Right? It's like a holdover from like hockey culture in Canada. Everybody's guy.
All right, bud.
And so when so my family knows like when I start bringing up the guy, like Mom's really upset and we need to give her some space because I start up with that guy every time.
One of my favorite guy stories, because I have one. Is there was one night where we were getting ready to go out. Me and a couple of my buddies, I think Dan was there as well. And we're going to go have a night out on the town. And by the town, I mean Whitby. And we jump in the cab and one of our buddies, and I think when you hear the story, you'll know exactly who it is. He gets in the cab and, you know, it's before going out to the bar and we had been hanging out at his house for a while already. So like the fun times were flowing. We get in the car and he's in loud mode already. And he's like, what's up, bro? To the cab driver. He's like, what's up, bro? What's up, dude? Yeah, you're having a good night, aren't you, bro? And everything that we did in the like 20-minute cab ride, he was trying to tie into the cab driver to like chum with the, so like literally every sentence.
Be best friends.
He's like, right, dude, you know, and he's like shaking the cab driver's shoulders over the chair from behind, like over the driver's seat from behind. I was like, what's up, dude? You know what I'm talking about? And the cab driver's like, can you please not do that? He's like, sorry, bro. We're just really excited to get out. The boys are together tonight, right? You want to come out with the boys tonight, bro? And he's doing this whole thing the entire time. Bro, dude, bro, guy, bro, dude, bro. We get there. She turns around. It's a woman cab driver. The entire time, my buddy's literally like, right, bro? What's up, dude?
Bro, dude,
this guy, no, bro, butt, dude, bro. Turns around, it's a woman. And now I'm like, that fully, like, no one should have their shoulders rubbed from behind the chair, but definitely,
no, it's never a good sign.
I'm sorry.
And so you all get out, you're like, apologies, ma'am.
We're like, we are sorry. Sis, ma'am.
Hey,
like,
girl.
I don't,
hey, girl. I don't know if I told you this, but I got sick of hearing the boys, my sons, because I'm currently, my daughter's living in another country. I'm here with just the boys. And I got sick of hearing bro all the time. Like everything is bro right now, right? Bro, like do your homework, bro. And so I was like, I'm sick of this. And also, this is a 50-50 household. I'm like, you're going to have to start saying girl. And I need girl to be said as much as you say bro. And I'll tell you what, like having my 9-year-old tell me a story from school. He was like, and I had already given him my mechanical pencil. He asked me for another one. And I'm like, girl, I already gave you mechanical pencil. And I'm like, I'm doing my part. I'm making the equality. This is equality right here in my house.
So when your kids get in a cab on the way to the bar, they're going to be going, girl,
it might be girl.
And it turns around, it's a dude.
Girl. But you know what? You can't be mad about it. Daniel and I once went out, which is not a common occurrence, actually. When we were adults, I was home visiting. And Daniel was like, let's go out. And we went to where was Heat? Was in Whitby too? Yes.
Heat?
We went out to.
Do you mean Liquid?
No, it was called Heat at the time.
Okay.
So we go to this club called Heat, and Daniel also brought one of your good friends with us. And so we went there, and Daniel was hyping up Heat so much. Like, he's like, you don't even know. Heat's so good. Heat's so good. It's so good. You're going to have so much fun, because we were trying to decide where to go. And he's like, yeah, I don't even worry about it. Let's go to Heat. We go to Heat. There's 4 people in this place. Like, it was so bad. So we only stayed for a little bit, but yours and Daniel, mutual friend, who had been pre-gaming for a long time before we got to Heat, he's a real close talker.
Yeah.
And he was in my ear the whole time. He really wanted chicken shawarma. I don't know why.
You guys went to Pita Pit?
I have this. It was like right near Heat, and he wanted to leave Heat so bad. And he kept on in my ear, just right against it. Be like, we got to go get that chicken shawarma. Do you want to go get chicken shawarma right now? And I was like, okay, guy. I'll do whatever you want. Just you need to physically remove yourself from my ear right now.
This is the same friend who there was one night before we were going out, we had spent time on the deck in Mom and Dad's backyard, because we were, I think me and Dan were in transition in terms of like where we were living. And so at that point we were staying at Mom's house, I think at that point in time, or at least one of us was. And he came there and hung out and he really liked the swing on the back of Mom and Dad's deck there at 26. And we went out, and as we were out, him and I actually getting separated. Like, we're just always like people out, and it's like, all right, I'm going to go home with these people in this cab. And he's like, oh, I'm going to take this cab with these people. And so he took a separate cab with a separate group of people, got dropped off at his house. And then in the morning, I went out like at Mom and Dad's house. I opened up the back door to let the dogs out, or the dog out. And he's sleeping on the swing chair on the deck. I'm like, bro, you went home in a different cab and got dropped off at your house.
How'd you get here?
He's like, I know. When I was sitting on this swing, I was like, I want to sleep there tonight. And I was like, so you came back here and slept here? He's like, I did, but I got to go home. I'm a little bit rough now. And he just walked home, where he was dropped off several hours previously or prior, and slept in his own bed afterwards.
What a gem. They don't make him like that anymore.
Nah.
He's sleeping at different people's backyards and
just stumble into someone's backyard and sleep on their
deck. Those are the good old days.
Yeah. And that's what Ajax has to offer.
Truly, Ajax was a timeless place. And I don't mean timeless in like classic and beautiful. I mean, like, there's no sense of time in that city. We would be out all hours of the night, just roaming the streets. No one knew where we were. And like, that was like the best times of my life. 3:00 in the morning, wandering the streets of Ajax with like a pack of friends.
And the assumption that whatever good time you were having at any point in that night would automatically carry over to the next thing that you do. So like, the pregame was fun, so the bar will be fun. The bar was fun, so Pita Pit is going to be incredible. Pita Pit was awesome, so the cab ride home is going to be amazing. Getting out of the cab and walking with your friends on the streets, because now the sun is almost coming up, even better. Like, all of these things.
And you've all been kicked out of your houses.
Yeah, no one can go home. You have to wait for your parents to go to work or church in the morning.
So you can sneak in.
Back in. Be like, I was here all along. Yeah. or someone's deck.
See, no one, like, that doesn't happen anymore. That doesn't happen in 2026.
No, because we are now
back in time.
Yeah, we're now in the phone-based childhood, which I've been reading all about. I talked about this.
I know. Anxious generation.
Yeah, anxious generation. Speaking of anxiety.
Well, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
We have a dance recital coming up.
That was not what I thought this was going.
No, we have Noah has a ballet recital coming up, and it is pretty stressful household right now. It's not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So I think the week that this comes out should be the week that it's happening. And we've got one more actual like practice session before the recital. And this is like the first real recital in like a hall on a stage. People, I think, are buying tickets to go there. Ooh. And we've recorded all of the dancing in like the practice sessions, in the rehearsals. And we've been playing them on our TV nightly.
Hey,
while
drop them in the chat.
No, I'm not going to do that. But I will wait to the recital because a few things.
Drop that in the chat.
One, I noticed last night as we were watching it, like not a single child of the like 18 kids in the group are doing the same dance. They should be. It's not choreographed that way. It's not like, okay, we're all going to do, it's like free movement.
It's real new age.
Yeah, they're literally like, I'm like Seiko, first of all, who's become a drill sergeant. Like, and like, I don't know what about it is so entertaining to me because Seiko's not like cut from that cloth. But to like come out of my office and hear her yelling, Grand Plie! No, not a regular plie, a grand plie. And I'm like, this is incredible. And she's like, arabesque, arabesque. No, that is an arabesque. And I'm like, oh, this is incredible. And I'm here for all of this. And so I go out and I watch and like, she'll be like, your feet need to be facing right. And I'm like, but do they? And like, we look at the screen and like one kid's in the middle, one kid's got like the right foot pointing left and the left foot pointing right. Here? I'm like, which of these are the actual moves? So she's become extremely drill sergeant mode for Noah's dance recital coming up. And the anxiety is not about that at all. The anxiety for the dance recital is actually Naya, our little one. We've talked about this in the past about how we had a very aggressive dog growing up. And her name was Taylor. And with Taylor, you never knew what you were going to get when you stepped out that front door.
No.
Right? Is she going to attack a German Shepherd?
Sometimes she was the sweetest dog in the whole world. Like you could just like a big old puppy dog. And sometimes she was a psychopath junkyard animal.
Yeah. Like people yelling, get your dog on a leash. And she was on a leash.
It was on a chain.
Yeah. So that was Taylor. You never knew what you were going to get when you were going out into public with her. And you were always on high alert. You couldn't relax. There's no way you could just get to a park and sit on a bench while she lies beside you and you crack open a book.
Oh, we've said before, you could only walk Taylor at 11 o'clock at night because we were so afraid of how she would react around other people and dogs. So that was the only time you could walk Taylor. And
if she was attacking anybody, they're hooligans anyways. They were us. Yeah. We already talked about it. We covered that literally 3 minutes ago.
It wasn't our friends.
One of us. Taylor, what are you doing? It's me. She just wouldn't care. We have to treat Naya like a very aggressive dog when we go out into public. We just don't know. We don't know what we're going to get.
Which one you're going to get.
Is she going to eat somebody else's food? She will. She's done it. She'll just walk up and take food out of somebody's hand. She doesn't care. Is she going to empty an entire bowl of udon and the soup onto her lap and the floor and then eat it with her hands afterwards? It's a possibility. It's happened. It's something that she has done. Is she going to steal some other kid's Nintendo Switch? It's also happened.
Maybe.
The kid was like a 10-year-old boy and he was like, Mom, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing he could do about it. Is she going to refuse to move? Right? Like that might happen unless something that she thinks in her head is going to happen happens. You have no idea what it is because you don't speak Naya at all. And
that's why you can only take her out at 11 o'clock at night.
Well, that's what we do. What we were at a restaurant like maybe like 3 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. But anyways, we were at this restaurant and it's one of those ones where you're in the booth and like you share the back with like the group behind you. And she stands up. Okay, cool. She's 1.5. She's going to stand up. She like hoisted herself up like just enough. So just like almost her chin was resting on the top of the booth and just screamed in the woman's ear behind us. Like, not even like crying. Like she said, I'm talking like just screamed, like just full on.
Just to see what would happen.
Yeah. Just to see if they would kick her out. She's just testing the rules. She's just
testing those boundaries. Naya is my favorite person on the planet, and I love this for you. So when I was a kid, bless mom and dad's heart, they wanted me to take dance because I'm the sole girl of 4 boys. Like naturally, Jacqueline's going to take dance. They put me in 1 year of dance at Shawnee's dance studio. It was over by the Giant Tiger, if you recall.
I recall.
And Shawnee was, if you've ever seen Dance Moms, which is another great reality show that is pure trash, she was a real Abby Lee Miller type, kind of like a more rotund lady that didn't actually dance at all, just yelled out the steps at us while we did it.
Just Seiko, arabesque!
Yes, yeah. And I still know what a pas de bourrée is. I think I was 8 years old. And when it was time for the big recital, the song we were dancing to is the one that was like, shake your body for me. Like it was like a real techno dance mix 96 type of song. And we had these costumes. They were blue leotards with like a fluorescent orange fringe. Okay. And then at the last minute, Shawnee decided we needed hats. And she just painted a bunch of small paper plates blue and attached them to elastic. So we had these like little jaunty paper plates stuck to our heads with our leotards. And we learned all this. We learned Shawnee's choreography. And at some point in time, the 3-star students were to execute a
please say dance move, not a person. Okay. They're to execute a squirrel that we found behind the dance studio. What kind of dance studio were you going to?
It was Shawnee's. So we were supposed to execute this perfect cartwheel from the back of the stage. So the 3-star students, back of the stage, cartwheel to the front, pose, end of the song. And that was the grand finale. And I was chosen as one of the star students to do a cartwheel. And I was very excited about that. And be like in normal habit for porters, I was also very smug about it. I was like, yeah, of course I'm good at dance. I'm good at everything. So the big recital happens and they're recording it. Like we bought the videotape afterwards. Like it was like $15 to buy the videotape. And the big finale happens and I forgot to count I forgot the 4 count. So only I did a cartwheel up to the stage by myself. And it wasn't like I was the middle, so it would make sense. Like, oh, the middle goes first. I was like on the side. So in the video, to my everlasting shame, it's me just cartwheeling by myself up to the front. And then the other girls are looking at me and then they cartwheel up to the front. And it's one of those things that keeps me up at night. And I'm not kidding, Ryan. I'm not kidding when I say like, it's something that I will wake up in a cold sweat about, be like, I can't believe I didn't do that cartwheel properly. What's wrong with me?
Yes, like me asking that girl at the grade 8 graduation to dance to Alanis Morissette. Like I will never stop sweating about that.
Like this was like a life ruiner. It's like one of the top 10 worst moments of my life, and I'm still stressing about it to this day. And somewhere there's a videotape of it, probably at mom and dad's house, of me cartwheeling out of time before everybody else did.
Well, I really love that for you, and I think that's like just a good general theme for your life anyways. You're like, I'm gonna go now. And everyone's like, what's she? I'm
so excited about it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty good at this kind of stuff. And then I ruin it completely because I'm too excited about it.
I actually have a pretty parallel story to this one that I don't think I've told on the podcast. If I have, you can just tell me to stop and I'll cut it out.
Okay, but I hope people know we're not putting this on. No. We're not planning any of this. This is how you and I talk to each other. Yes. We snowball everything, and everything is a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon type of conversation. Like everything relates to everything else. This is a normal conversation. I don't want people to think that we are like, oh, and then you're going to tell the story about how you ruined a cartwheel in your dance, and then I'm going to tell my story that has something to do with this. Like we did not plan this.
No. So we've talked about this in the past in terms of like super main character syndrome. And I think there was something that you had said that like you wanted people, was it like if you got kidnapped or something? I can't remember, but there's something that you were thinking about that you wanted to be remembered by. And I actually had one like that as well, where I remember one day I had watched like Unsolved Mysteries or something on the weekend, and walking home, I was like, well, I need something so people like that didn't know me would be like, yeah, I always saw him. He was the guy that was always picking up sticks off the ground and making
kid too. Yeah. I'd say this to my kids all the time. I say, if you like, what do the kids at school say about you? Like, do they say like, oh, you know, Andrew, he's the kid who blank, 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 blank. And I just want to know like how people know us. Yeah.
So mine was like kids that didn't know me walking behind me home from school would see me picking up sticks and carving weapons out of them. Like that was literally like one thing I was like, if someone's going to interview them, they're gonna be like, yeah, he was always picking up sticks and making weapons. And it was like, so that's not the story, but I just like, that's the way we think. We think in our brains. Yeah. In our brains, we're like, and then there's also something in our brains where we've mentally prepared for something for a very long time, where we get to step into the spotlight, a la a cartwheel or a la your cartwheel story, where we're like, we've been preparing for this. We are going to be the main character in this one. We are, and going
we know in our head, we think we know how the outcome is going to be.
Yeah,
like
we're gonna nail it.
And then we're gonna do this thing, and then the crowd goes wild.
Stand up, arms outstretched, everybody to their feet, standing ovation. you're the champion.
Like,
right?
we've thought about that so many times before we actually do the thing.
Like this podcast, like this is, like we show up, we're like, all right, and no one's listening. Like that's not, like, I know I always make fun of this podcast, but it's true. Like we're like, and we're going to show up, we're going to start a podcast, it's going to go viral. And everyone's going to listen. No, the crowd goes wild. Not a single person. This is like literally. So I remember Exeter High School. We talked about this. The way that the cafeteria was set up, it was a pit, right? Maybe 8 or 10 sided.
Yeah, it was like an octagon pit.
Yeah, where you step down 5, 6, 7, 8 steps into the pit. Everybody ate down there. And at the far end, there is a stage that was level with the floor, right? So the top of the pit. And I remember walking down the hall and I heard this like hip hop music playing and them announcing that there was going to be a dance contest to win some tickets for whatever dance was coming up. I don't know what it was, the winter dance or whatever. I forget all these, the winter ball. I don't know. Again, snowball. I don't know any of this stuff is. I never went to them. I was a nerd. I didn't like going to them. But there was a dance coming up and you could win tickets. I didn't even want to win the tickets. But we have talked about this because we talked about the website that I created back in the day. I was a break dancer. I was a breaker. I was a b-boy. And I had been practicing on my gold laminated piece of cardboard in mom and dad's basement for months, just in case, right? Just in case.
Non-stop BC Boys down there.
Just in case there was a time where it's like, can anyone in here break dance?
If you ever hear the opening bars of Intergalactic.
Intergalactic.
You're like, put me in, coach.
Amen. So I'm walking down the hallway, and the way that the hallway in front of the main office is it hits directly to the pit on the opposite side of the stage. So I hear music, I hear announcements, I hear like anyone that wants to join the dance contest, like go ahead. We're doing it, like go. And some kids were going up and people messing around or whatever. And I then heard some hip hop music. And I remembered at that moment in time that I've been practicing for this my entire life.
Your whole life.
3 months in my parents' basement on a gold piece of cardboard with like a sock on my hands, like do hand glides. And anyway,
oh my gosh.
It's all so embarrassing. I am in grade 10 at the time, I believe.
Okay.
Grade 10. And I walk to the side of the pit that's directly across from the stage. And there is one guy who knows that I've been practicing breakdancing. His name's Damien. And he looks at me and he kind of like gives me a nod, like, yo, bro, you got this. And I'm like,
it's your time.
You're right. So like I put my Adidas duffel bag down and I walk around the outside, the left side of the pit. And I didn't even sign up. I didn't write my name down. I just walked right out onto the stage. And I don't know what I was thinking because all of that practice, I'm not that good. To have that kind of confidence where I just drop my duffel bag down and I'm like, bro, I got
straight into it.
The crazy thing is I'm not with any of my friends. I'm not like, yo, watch. I'm literally by myself, like just like, I got this. Yo, P.
Is this a Disney Channel original movie?
This is how my brain is figuring this out. Like the way that I've got it. So I want to explain to you what I thought was going to happen and what actually happened. So I thought was going to happen is I walk out on stage and I do my little like 6-step or whatever. I do a couple windmills, maybe a baby flare. And I'm going to finish with a head spin into a freeze. That's what I'm thinking. Okay.
Got it.
And when I finish, the music's also going to finish on my freeze because the contest is over. Ryan just killed it.
A record scratch is like
Ryan killed it with a T. He killed it with a T. Killed it. And everyone's going to go crazy. And you know what? I don't even want to go to the dance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the dance tickets away to like a cute girl or something. And then this is like my whole
wow.
Yeah, like 90s like teen romance movie. So I get out there and I do my little up rock. I get down, a couple 6-step thing. There's like on the ground, a little like shuffling around the ground. And maybe I did a windmill or whatever. And I go to do a head spin. And as I get up on my head, like my neck was actually just like, no, like we haven't practiced enough. My neck was just like, we have not practiced enough for this. And it's my head just like turns sideways and I just flop down on the stage. It was so bad. First of all, it killed. I was in so much pain. And like, I'm trying to like then like get into a freeze, but I was like the dog that Taylor attacked, where I was like, kind of like my head is like cocked to the side and I can't straighten it out. Because
a single tear is rolling down your eye.
And I finish. And I can't even get I can't even get up and walk to the other side of the stage. I just like roll to the edge of the stage. And like kind of fall. Like I didn't fall off. Like I got my feet around, like fell down and like walked.
Just inchworm off.
And then like, yeah, I did like land on my feet. And I like walked through the cafeteria pit up the opposite side of the stairs where my duffel bag was still untouched. Because now no one wants to touch this cursed duffel bag from this horrible breakdancer. And I just pick it up and walk all the way. And I ate my lunch in the change room of the gym before basketball. And first of all, so safe to say I did not win the contest.
The tickets, sad.
And people were trying to bring it up to me afterwards. And I don't know like what spirit of the Holy Ghost I was feeling that was like, yo, Porter, you've got this. Porter, you've got this. Go up there.
You should do this.
And show.
You should do this.
And
you waited a long time.
And it was like it was very fresh in my breakdancing path. No one knew except for Damien, right? And he's the one that gave me just a little nod. Not even like you should go. I don't even know if that was it. Just like, because he was breakdancing as well.
They're
so it's
doing it. They're breakdancing.
Like, hey, this could be us if we practice a little more. I'm like, practice, bro.
Like, I got it. I got you.
I've been waiting for this. It was so bad. And then people after would bring it up to me and I was so embarrassed. It was just really, really terrible.
I can't believe you continued to go to the school after that. I was homeschooled.
But just the fact that just the fact that it's so baked into our brain that's like, you've got this. You can go and do this thing that other people have trained their entire lives. I watched the movie Sing Sing on the weekend. Have you seen the movie Sing Sing?
Mm-mm.
Absolutely recommend anybody to go see the movie Sing Sing. It is about a theater program in prison, and it's actually acted by people from the theater program in prison.
Okay, cool.
Fantastic movie. But it also convinced me that I can act. We've talked about this in the past.
You're like, I got it.
I got it. When it was done, I was thinking about if I was auditioning for a movie, like what monologue
would you do?
From
what monologue would you do? I've told this story. I think I've told this story before that we had to do monologues in drama class in grade 10. That was part of the curriculum. You had to remember a monologue and perform it in front of drama class. And everybody else chose to do like the beginning of Lord of the Rings, like these very serious monologues. And because my husband makes fun of me for this all the time, that I love to zig when other people zag. Like that's important to me, that like I don't do what everybody else does. Like I really want to be out there. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a comedic one because I'm funny. And so I go home on our computer, our Windows computer, look up like funny
monologues. Kick somebody off the phone. Like I need to look somebody up. Someone get off the phone.
This is really important. Print off my monologue. And it was a monologue of Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean. And he's the devil and he's processing people, whether they need to go to heaven or hell.
Okay.
And I found it very funny, but now I realize that there are a lot of racist undertones in this. And like, I thought it was hilarious. So I performed this whole thing. And again, in my head, everybody's laughing. They're like, Jacqueline, oh my gosh, why did we think of doing a funny one? No one laughs. I finish, it's dead silent. And my drama teacher was like, yeah, sometimes it's just more in the delivery. And that was all I got. That was the only feedback I got. And I just like walk off the stage.
But wait, I can also break dance. And you started.
Going to
I can play the recorder. You start anything in your bag of tricks. Anything in your bag of tricks to win the crowd over. Everything just digs you deeper.
I just like it was more important to me. Probably still is, like, to do something to do something very memorable. Does that make sense? Like I need people to be like, I remember that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's Jacqueline, what every sociopath, serial killer. That's what they say. I just wanted to do something that was memorable.
Just something memorable. I just want people to say my name properly and not say Jackie. That's another. Here's another thing. Here's the fork in my soup about Jackie. Is I have a name that people like to shorten. And I have never once in my entire life introduced myself as Jackie. I've never made it known that I enjoy the name Jackie. But everybody calls me Jackie when they first meet me. And I think that's crazy because what if we all just made up nicknames for people and called them that, even though they never indicated they enjoy that nickname? I think that's nuts. And that's my moment for the day. If someone doesn't ask you to call them a name, don't call them a different name. Very upsetting. I do not want to be called Jackie ever.
That's some good advice. Also, if you're not an actual actor, don't try.
Lots of advice tonight. Don't try breakdancing if
unless
are not good at it.
More than 3 months, and maybe somewhere where you've done it publicly before, and now you're going to do it in front of like the most high stakes. Like that's the highest.
High stakes. High school is high stakes, though.
The Olympics, like we watched what happened to that female breakdancer from Australia. Like that wasn't even high stakes because it's like whatever, she became a meme, and like the Red Bull breakdancing ones, not high stakes. Whatever, if you lose, you lose. High school.
No, there's nothing more high stakes than high school.
Exeter High School stage. Yeah. Exeter High School cafeteria stage. That is the highest of high stakes. So like if you're not trained in that thing, if you haven't actually had somebody who's not you or your family said you're really good at that, don't
and you should do it in front of other people.
No, don't do it. Like that's the advice from this one. But I watched the movie Sing Sing, and when it was done, multiple times.
You tried out for a play.
I may have recited the first couple of lines of the Hamlet to be or not to be speech by myself at like midnight on Friday night, just wondering if I've got it.
Like, is this good? This is good. So he goes like, go to sleep, Ryan.
Who are you talking to? I'm auditioning for a movie. I'm sorry, Seiko. I'm sorry. Okay.
Please don't. My son, my 9-year-old, is going to be in a play tomorrow.
Which play again? I think
Matilda. He's going to be in Matilda, and which is really funny because his character is named Rodolfo. And anytime someone says, "Oh, what's your son in Matilda?" I say Rodolfo, and they say, "I'm not familiar with a character named Rodolfo." I'm like, "That's because Rodolfo is made up." But Rodolfo is the comedic relief for the play.
Hey,
so he's really been like me. He really needed to work on his delivery, and he only has about 4 lines, but they're all meant to be very funny. And so the last 2 weeks he's been in rehearsals nonstop, which is really like he might be on stage altogether for 30 seconds, and he's been in hours of rehearsals for this. And then he comes home and I drill him on his delivery, because I'm like, Aaron, being the comedic relief, it's a big responsibility.
Big deal. Lots of pressure.
Big deal. People are waiting. Like you are the pressure valve for the entire production. You need to be able to release the pressure of Matilda while you're on stage. And I feel like now he's going to throw up when he's up there because I put way too much pressure on him to be funny.
I see somebody else has been reading The Anxious Generation. How can we just install this from the get-go? Can we
extremely anxious?
Yeah. Well, look.
But I'll let you know how it goes. We're pretty excited. I bought tickets. There's 2 shows. I bought tickets to both shows because the idea of my child being on stage and not me in the front row just beaming at him kills me. So tomorrow night for 4 hours, we're going to be sitting through Matilda.
Okay.
Watching it twice in a row.
If he needs any last minute tips, I should let you know that I have headlined multiple Netflix specials in my own brain.
In your head.
After watching Dave Chappelle, I'm like, I think I can also do this.
I think I can. Stand-up comedian?
I've told some pretty funny stories on the pod. I think I can do this.
I think I'm the funniest person alive.
Yeah, top three.
And a really untapped talent. And like one day I'm going to be discovered, and it's going to be really exciting.
I still hold on to that. I still hold on to the fact that somebody might just stumble on this podcast and they're like, this is the rawest.
They're like, these two have it.
This is the rawest talent that I've ever heard.
Make it into a sitcom.
People think I'm joking. I am not joking. I legitimately.
Yeah, we already casted it. You're going to be Ryan Reynolds. I'm going to be David Spade in a wig. Like we already have it nailed down. We're good.
There was an episode. I don't think it made it out. I think there was an audio issue or something where I described the opening credits to our sitcom, like our 90s sitcom. I described. Right. Yeah. Anyways, maybe that part lived in that audio. Maybe there's a way I can like bonus content
dig it out.
bonus content, drop it in somewhere as like a solo audio clip somewhere, or feed it to AI and have AI actually create the opening credits to our 90s
with
sitcom,
our pictures
or the actors that we chose to play.
Okay. Okay. There might be some copyright issues, but I think we can get around it. No big deal. No one's ever going to watch it. We do actually have a podcast to record today.
Yes,
we've been talking for almost an hour.
Sorry.
We have two sections that we need to get through. First is question of the day, which we have not done yet.
Haven't touched it.
Here's my question of the day, and it feeds directly into the topic for the day, with topic you don't know about, only I know about. Which sibling do you think you're most like, and which do you think you're most unlike?
Ooh, good one. Because I believe I have a pretty good mix of all of us.
Okay.
Good. So you see, I'm an optimist. I've got a pretty good mix of
good,
all of
not
us.
the worst parts of all of us.
So like Dan, and maybe even Dallin, I really like and am entertained by bad things. Do you know what I mean? Like by bad things, not like bad, like not bad, but I'm talking about
murder.
Yeah, murder. Yeah, war. No, I just
hilarious.
Yeah, world famine. I just really just cracks me up. No,
brightens my day.
But somebody being rebellious, to me, I find comedy in that. I think it's funny, right? For example, you're at church and the church class is supposed to start for your age group, and you decide to lock the teacher out of the room. And you know that's going to set the teacher off. Well, I know that's hilarious. And so I'm going to do it. And I'm going to find it really funny. And so I think I learned that from Dan, because I think Dan also really enjoys getting people going or doing things that wouldn't provide entertainment for anybody else, but he gets a kick out of it.
Yeah, it's just for him. It's just for him.
And like talking to people in a certain way gets him. And he also does it. That's Dan's form of being on stage, is when he's making fun of people in front of other people.
Yeah, he likes to aggravate people.
And so I get that from Dan. I think I enjoy also that little bit of rebelliousness, or let's just call it rebelliousness in this for this podcast. I think I find humor in that. I think with you and Jonathan, and I think Dallin as well, we have probably very similar senses of humor outside of enjoying the rebellious stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Conan O'Brien stuff, the Saturday Night Live stuff.
Yeah, it's very sarcastic.
Funny stuff, just funny stuff.
Yeah, funny. Because we're funny.
Self-deprecating, sarcastic. Very self-deprecating. Also teasing, I think, is definitely in there. We all get that. Jonathan's anxiety and perfectionism, I think that's probably where him and I have the biggest overlap. Me and you probably have a pretty big overlap in the storytelling, where it's, let me take this most boring thing that happened to me today.
Trip to the library, and it's going to blow your mind.
Car wash. You told a car wash story
where
you couldn't get your car.
I can't be in a car wash.
Couldn't get your car into car wash mode. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, even the word car wash almost causes me to have panic attacks, so we don't talk about car washes anymore.
And then with Dallin, I would probably say the thing that him and I have most in common is just how loud we are. I think he's probably the only person in the family who can rival my
loudness. Your level, your noise level,
the decibel level. So
yes, I remember one time you and I we were actually getting Jonathan from the airport, and I had to run up to the airport. We were waiting for them, and we were like, "Oh, we're hungry. Let's go to Tim Hortons." And of course, there's a Tim Hortons in every airport, every Canadian airport. We're at Tim Hortons, and I'm like ordering my donuts and my peach juice, which is delicious. And you started talking to the person that was helping us, like asking all about like their day and then like their background, and you're getting into their family. And I remember being like, Ryan, give it a rest. They don't want to talk to you. And it was so loud. And I was just like, imagine having that personality where you're just like, hey, stranger, you want to talk to me for a little while? And I think you do it with like partly out of just like boredom. Like like I'm just bored, so I'm just gonna like talk to this person from Tim Hortons for a while, and where I will completely withdraw. I don't like to talk to anybody ever. And so when you're like loudly talking to the person at Tim Hortons, I'm like, oh my gosh, here he goes again. Here we go.
Well, I'm also trying to collect stories so I can go to wherever I'm going next and then share that story as if it's my story. Yeah, as if it's mine. Right? Like it's very self-centered. I'm trying to find ways for me
I don't care about that person.
No, I'm just trying to collect a story to tell it at my next destination or my next stop along the way.
Okay, got it.
Or next time I go to Tim Hortons, I'm like, I was talking to Brenda yesterday at Tim Hortons
where's she
in Pearson International. You know what I learned about you folk back here? That you all get paid blah, 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 blah. Or you all do blah, 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 blah. Or you guys can't fill in each other's shifts because da, 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 da. And then I get a huge ranking increase on the customer score.
And then they think you're the best Tim Hortons customer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're doing. You're just collecting points everywhere you go.
Exactly. So I guess to sum it all up, I think I'm equal parts of the four of you. And the overlap just depends on like what angle we're looking at.
What angle?
But I would say I don't think there's one of you that I have more in common with than the others, if that makes sense. Like I think it's a little bit of what's the either Captain Planet or
Captain Planet, Earth, Wind, Water, Fire.
And then I'm Captain Planet. You are all the elements, and I'm Captain Planet.
And you're the center, you're the main character. I was thinking about this question too. I think like if we're just going like pound for pound, if someone met us over like 10 minutes and like made a judgment, I think they would find Dallin and I to be the most similar in our mannerisms and the way that we speak. When Dallin and I get together, if you watch Schitt's Creek, we are Alexis and David, very much so. Like I watch that show to be like home. That's home. That's how we speak to each other. And so I think if you were around us, we do have like very similar, the way we talk. We look very similar. We dress very similar. Lots of similar things between me and Dallin. So I feel like
both very much the annoying younger sibling.
Yes. Yeah. And we like wear it with pride. Like I don't mind being annoying. I'm like, yeah, I'm annoying. Like I wear that with, I'm an annoying person. Deal with it. And so I feel like people would recognize that. And then I was trying to think of like, if I was like, oh, there's one that I'm least like, it would probably be Jonathan, simply because, and like, I think that's why Jonathan and I have always gotten along extremely well. Like we never fought as kids ever. Like,
mostly accredited to Jonathan.
Yeah, to Jonathan.
Because
he's always just been like...
he could say that about any one of us. And if you ask Jonathan that question, he's like, I'm not like any of them. Nope, none of them. I am not like any of those.
And Jonathan, like as a teenager, Jonathan never says no to me. That's the other thing that I loved about Jonathan growing up with him. I could ask him to do anything. He would never say no. Like, Jonathan, do you want to teach my best friend how to swing dance and then go to a dance and swing dance with her? And Jonathan's like, okay. And like
after he declares that it won't be fun. We talked about that in your journal.
It will never be fun, but like he'll do the thing. So I feel like Jonathan and I are dissimilar enough that we've always found it really easy to get along because Jonathan just lets me be me, and he sits back and is just like, yeah, you're actually nuts. And like I feel like I'm just like the ditzy sidekick to Jonathan's extremely smart, like Sherlock Holmes personality, and I'm just like the personality hire that's like hanging out with him.
Which one is Penn and which one is Teller? Which is the one that doesn't?
Oh no.
He's the one that never talks and like slides under the stage and shows up.
He's doing the work.
All you're doing is shaking your head. Voila. Look what I've done. The person's literally contorting his entire body under a stage, shuffling through like 15 centimeters of space to pop his head out of the stage. And while you go, la la la, I've done another magic trick.
Every time I get off the phone with Jonathan, I'm like, he must just like shake his head and be like, this actual dum-dum is my sister. Because I know I'm saying everything wrong when I'm talking to him. And I'm just like, whatever, it's fine. He read the dictionary. We're on different levels. It's fine. I'm okay with that.
It's why I assume he doesn't listen to this podcast. But in a very Jonathan way, I think he subscribes to it on Apple Music or whatever. I think he subscries to it.
It was in his Spotify. Just so he was in his Spotify Wrapped. We are number 2 on his podcast list after Amy Poehler.
So what you're saying is
We're up there. And
I'm
Amy
right
Poehler
all
won
along.
she won a Golden Globe for her podcast. So I feel like we're on track.
All right. Jonathan's
It's us and
playlist
Amy
never
Poehler.
lies.
Okay. So here's where it goes with what we're talking about today. Have you ever heard of the mystery of the two Jims?
No. This sounds like something that was made up in South Ajax, though, already.
This is, I love to go down an internet rabbit hole. I was deep in the two Jims rabbit hole for a while.
Can I Google it? Can I get a Wikipedia page up while you're talking about it? Or do you want this to be like...
Actually, no, I want you to guess. Before. I love when you guess about things. What do you think the mystery of the two Jims is about?
I'm going to go with an identity switching. They both have the name Jim, right? So like, can they switch identities? Can they show up in different towns and be the different person because they both share the name Jim and maybe some same physical attributes that we haven't heard about? But I'm going to go with the mystery of the two Jims.
You're on the right track.
I'm going with the mystery of the two Jims is going to be an identity thing.
Interesting. You may Google it now.
Thank you.
You may. Go ahead. Remember when you learned how to use the internet at school and you had to order a Canadian flag? Did you have to do that for our internet? Like you went to,
what?
We had to go to a different school because our school didn't have internet. So we would get on a bus, go to school,
that defeats the purpose of the internet. It's literally this super connected information. This super connected information superhighway. We got to get on a bus to go meet it. We got to go meet the internet.
We cannot afford internet. We had to go to Duffins Bay, the Duffins Bay school, use their internet. And like the thing that you did to learn how to use the internet was order a Canadian flag on a website. And that was amazing. Wonder where that flag is today.
Wow. There is an article that came out about the gyms 8 days ago.
That's really the one that I used mostly was from 1979.
Yeah, there's like a full there's a full separated by chapter.
Okay, yes.
Anyways. Okay, I'm here. I'm with you.
Okay, so Tale of Two Jims. Jim Lewis and Jim Springer are identical twins that were separated at birth. They were both randomly given the name Jim. The families that adopted them did not know each other. Right. They were 40 miles apart.
Well, the names were not randomly. It wasn't randomly selected by a name generator.
Out of a hat. They took it out of a hat.
Randomly, coincidentally.
Yes, coincidentally is a better word. Coincidentally, both families named their babies Jim without the other family knowing. They lived 40 miles apart. They were 4 weeks old when they were separated. Okay, they're adopted into these different families. At age 5, Jim Lewis is told that he is a twin, but he doesn't understand what that means. He's 5 years old. He's like, okay, cool. Yeah. At age 8, Jim Springer is told that he is a twin, but his twin died. And that was what he understood from age 8 on, that he was a twin and that his twin had passed away.
But it's not important because he died. It's very important.
Don't even worry about it. He's dead.
He's dead.
And this is what each other believes until age 39, when Jim Springer starts doing some digging about his potentially dead twin, where he had and realized that his twin was alive and lived only 40 miles away. They arranged a meeting on the Phil Donahue show.
It was down at Ricky Lake. Whoever is paying the most.
What was Sally Jesse Raphael? Sally Jesse Raphael was my girl or Jenny Jones. I would take a Jenny Jones, hot or not type situation. I'd love for the twins to show up and then they were given a makeover and they're like, I used to be a geek, but look at me now. That was Jenny Jones every time. So they're reunited at age 39 on the Phil Donahue show. When they meet up, they realize and start talking that they have some really almost eerie similarities in the way their lives have turned out. Okay. Both gyms have dogs and the dog's name's a Toy. Both gyms have a dog named Toy.
Wow.
Which is very strange because Toy, Ryan, it's going to get crazy. So we're starting with the mildest coincidence that they have a dog named Toy. They both work in law enforcement. One is a security guard and one is a sheriff, I believe. They both love woodworking. Totally, they like the same things, same hobbies.
Also, that's the way that I would definitely expect Jim to introduce himself at a dinner party.
Yeah.
The Jim who's working as a security.
I love to work.
He's like, I'm in law enforcement.
I'm actually in law enforcement, and I love to build things out of wood. So both marry a woman named Linda. Both have wives named Linda. Both, even crazier, both get divorced and then marry a woman named Betty. True. 2 Lindas, 2 Bettys. They're both divorced and remarried to a Betty. Both of them have sons around the same age, and both of their sons are named James Allen. This is real. Jim basically calls a living lab. Like, he's going to study them in real time, perform tests on them to see why they are so similar. Like, how did they get this way? Because it's beyond coincidence. They are living the same life 40 miles away from each other. Same people in their lives, same names, everything down to what they've chosen to do for their profession. And he brings them in for testing. He says, draw a random picture. Both of them draw the exact same picture. Like, this is how connected they are. So this scientist, whose name is Thomas Bouchard, starts creating this hypothesis that when you're an identical twin, you are basically coded. Like, brains are coded from birth, and that those codes are the same in twins. A regular person, you and I, regular people walking on the street, regular people like me, outstanding people like me, I should say, we have 95% the same genetic makeup. Me and any person walking by the street. An identical twin has 100% the same DNA and genetic makeup. So the hypothesis is that some of the things about them, the things that they like and they dislike, their preferences are hard coded into their brains. And he continues to do studies on these twins that basically where there's biological programming. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit as it pertains to us and our siblings. Like, do you believe that we are like genetically predisposed to certain things? Do you believe that we have like family programming, family coding?
So we do. And I know this because sometimes when I'm at Dan's house, so when I was living in Toronto and then when I was living in New Brunswick, but going back, once a year to hang out there and with Dan, Dan's partner, Renee, would call certain things out. She's like, oh, your brother does that too. Or what? Dan always does. He always says that same thing. And then I'll explain something like where if I get hurt, instead of being like, ow, that hurts, I turn into anger. I don't feel the pain. I actually feel anger. It just skips over the pain and I become angry at whatever happened. If somebody gets sick, the way that I respond, these things, Renee would always would tell me, like, your brother does the same thing. That's so weird. That's not everybody, right? And I am not aware of that. I thought everybody gets angry when they get hurt.
Real mad all the time. That's the thing. We've said in the past, anger is the sixth sibling in our family. Like, anger is always there, just like lurking up, because I think all 5 of us are working on that actively all the time, like keeping anger in check.
And there are other things that I've caught myself and Dan doing, Jonathan as well. Not so much you, but the way that we stand or the way that we sit, the way that we cross our legs, the way that we cross our arms over our bellies and cross our right foot over our legs.
And go to sleep with it. Tuck your chin in.
Like that, I think. Go to sleep. Yeah, like there are definitely things like that I believe are fully just in our DNA in some weird shape or form. I think the clothes that I select to wear, like this, we show up, we're
wearing the same thing.
And there are times where even like I look at, I'm dressed like Dan and Jonathan, right? Like it's just the way. I think the things that we already talked about, things that we find funny, the way that we tell stories, the volume at which we tell said stories. But I've said this to Seiko before. I wonder how deep it goes. There are so many things I don't know about my siblings because I've never got to be around you all full time.
Like a long time. Yeah, for a long period of time.
And in every situation or scenario, we get to see each other while there's some kind of family event happening. Everybody's on. best hits, trying to outdo each other, that whole thing. And so we don't really get to see ourselves in like our natural habitats. The way that we talk to our kids, the jokes that we tell, our silliness, the things that get us emotional, like all of those things, I feel there's a huge overlap, probably.
When we were having, it must have been our family reunion. I like to keep to my schedule. I do the same things every single day. Like you could probably set a watch to the way that I wake up, and
you'd be very easy to assassinate.
Yeah, he's totally like, they're like, and she's going to stand in front of her supplement cupboard, which I do every morning for like 5 minutes, deciding which supplements I want to take.
Then grab sugarless Coke or no sugar.
Yeah, and then I grab a Coke to drink it all down with. But I do the same things every day. And I do not like I do not like it when, like, if someone wakes up and it's like during my quiet time or whatever, or it really bothers me because I have like the things that I like to do. When we were at home and we were all staying together, it was during the family reunion. Daniel got up in the morning and he was sharing a car with mom and dad. There was like a huge shortage of rental cars. Like they tried to give George and Jonathan a box truck. That's how bad it was.
A Sprinter?
And so Daniel couldn't get a car. So he was just sharing with mom and dad. And he got up in the morning and dad had taken the car. And so Daniel couldn't go to Tim Hortons to get his tea. And he lost his mind because that's what he does every single morning. He gets up in the morning, goes to Tim Hortons, he gets his tea. That's his schedule. And watching Daniel, like, first of all, I got to do my schedule because I was already up and drinking my daily Crystal Light. I had a car, but I was watching Daniel just like actually crash out over his, and I was like, we're all like, Daniel, calm down. It's not that deep. In my head, I was like, I understand this completely. I would be losing my mind if someone mixed up my schedule as well.
And that schedule that you've created in your head that you've done for so long that nobody else knows about and nobody else knows how important it is to you. It would be so easy to explain to somebody, hey, this is what I do. This is why it's important to me. And if I don't get to do it this way, I don't know why. I'm hard programmed to get upset over that. Right?
I'm going to get real mad.
If I had my therapist write down the theme of what we talked about on the receipts or the invoices that I get after like post session,
okay,
the amount of money I could tie directly to this, where I've had some kind of episode during the week where I've been like worked up over something and I can map it directly back to a plan that I had made in my head that I had not communicated with anybody. That had not gone according to that plan. And then I get upset about it.
I'm in a real bad mood about it.
Either outwardly or I'm just stuffing it all down, like waiting for my screen to be repaired and I didn't back up anything that's now completely interfere with the plan. Now it's another thing I've got to deal with because I've got the list.
Just great. Okay, guy. I guess I guess I'm going to do this now.
All right, bud, I guess I won't have my tea today.
I guess that's what's interesting. Like how much of what we're doing is hard coded into our DNA? How much is it? It's the nature versus nurture debate, right? We all grew up in the same household. So obviously there are going to be things, mannerisms that are the same. But how much of that is hard-coded and how much of that was just the environment that we were in?
I've wondered this so many times around if we took our Netflix recommendations, for example, and put them all side by side, how much of an overlap would there be, right? Or just the way that we approach those things, I think is one thing I'm very curious about. I've actually said to Seiko, I know I just said this 8 minutes ago, but I wonder if we do the same thing. I wonder if we say the same thing. I wonder if we act the same way in these situations or whatever. And I get the sense that we do for a large portion of those things. And I'm reminded of this TikTok trend that's going around right now with twins, where they get a door and they open the door halfway. So it's blocking the twins from seeing each other. And the person holding the camera will say something like, hold up a hand. Both hold up a hand. Make a funny face. They both make the same funny face. Do a dance. They both do the same dance. Stand on one leg. They both choose the same leg. Point in a direction. They both point in the same direction. It's wild. And of course, I'm only seeing the ones from twins that did the exact same thing and are now getting posted to TikTok for some entertainment or whatever. But I think there's some truth to it that we are hard-coded. And then the parts that aren't hard-coded are soft-coded. They're more nurture than nature. In those scenarios, and that everybody has that massive overlap. And there are things that we do. I remember Dad had a very similar situation not identical twins, but dad had a brother that he hadn't known about until he got older, found out about this older brother.
Yeah, we had a real long lost brother situation.
And he decided to go visit this brother, and he showed up, and they looked the same. They had some same mannerisms. The brother rode the same motorcycle that dad rides. And there were a lot of these similarities and overlaps between this person that he's never met ever in his life and that only found out existed, a couple of years before, showed up, and they're a very similar person. So I do believe that things are hard-coded. But when I'm reading about the similarities between Jim and Jim here, it is wild. Absolutely wild how many things were overlapping.
Then, I guess the question is okay, so is there free will involved, or are you just hard-coded to do all these things? You know what I mean? Are you just predisposed to get a dog named Toy and name your kid James Allen? And is that hard-coded into you? What you've named your kids? Yeah,
I'm sorry. That's probably a little bit deeper I don't know if you've read the description of this podcast. And I believe that's probably...
It's about pop culture.
Do we even have free will? Are we talking about Free Willy, the movie? Childhood beloved movie?
Yes, let's talk about Free Willy.
But yeah, I wonder. I think that there are definite things that we do on autopilot, we're not even considering, that are so part of who we are, that unless there's an intervention by a partner or by professional help, I think that'll continue on autopilot, and it will be overlapping and similar between the people that are in that environment.
For better or worse, too.
Mostly for worse. It's usually almost
it's usually just anger related. So when I was looking up Jim, I also ran into this story. It's a documentary called 3 Identical Strangers. And it's
I've watched this one.
You've watched it? Okay, so the story of 3 Identical Strangers is it's actually a set of triplets. They did not realize they were all sent to different families. And they found each other because they were attending the same college, and the brothers kept on getting mistaken. 2 of the brothers were mistaken for each other over and over again. And he realized after one of them realized being called someone else's name that he had a twin on campus. And then this became a big story on the news. And a third one saw this on the news and was like, they also look like me. Turns out they were triplets, right? So they find each other later in life. They also are very similar, right? They eat the same food. They have the same habits. But here's the thing about those ones. They were separated on purpose. They were separated as an experiment. And what happened was, which is pretty crazy, they... To answer the very questions that we are asking right now, they were separated. One was specifically given to a blue-collar family. One was given to a middle-class family, and one was given to an affluent family. And they were continued to study to see how their behavior changed based on how they were nurtured in the environment that they grew up in. Unfortunately, because it was an inhumane experiment, basically.
You don't say.
The records of this experiment were sealed. And they are not supposed to be open until 2066. I guess in reading it, the brothers did get to look at some of it. Sadly, one of the brothers passed away, and so there's the 2 of them now. But it said they were able to look at the data that was collected from them, but it didn't really say either way what the data said.
Studies show. I'm sorry, what study?
Studies show. It's imagine waking up one day and studies show and you're the study. Study show and it's just you. That's crazy. So it's their identity is one thing, but then how much did the upbringing contribute to the identity then? And I mean, we were very much, I would consider our family a blue collar family, right? So how did that affect? You already have this hard coding that's baked into you when you're born because of your genetics and DNA, and then you're raised a certain way, and does it change your hard coding, or does it just add to it?
It's a great question that I'll need to ponder while I'm stomping around my house when I'm angry. And I assume that everyone in our family does that. I assume it's when you're angry, all of a sudden your feet each foot weighs 300 pounds and you only walk on your heels.
Walking on the heels.
Let everybody else know how angry you are through the weight of your footsteps.
And I want to make it clear, we didn't only get anger hard-coded into us. There are other things that
we still march around the living room singing Christian songs on Monday nights, right? Right? You guys do that too, right? Wait.
Every one of us. I think our perfectionism and our need for other people to recognize us, that is hard baked into us, because there's no reason our upbringing, a blue collar upbringing, should push us to like this feeling of like, I guess like this need for excellence. There's no reason that a blue collar family,
because we were not excellent.
No, that's what I mean. Like, we're 5 kids, a blue collar family, just pushing for excellence all the time. I think that must have been I think that has to be a hard-coded thing. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for me to need my chiropractor to think that I'm the best patient he's ever seen. So I just don't say anything and he's like breaking my back. Like that, that's unnecessary. And the only thing that I can say is that it must be just hard-coded. There's no other reason for it.
Well, I just found this one article on howstuffworks.com, and it's science.howstuffworks.com. And
so it's real.
They found other cases of this. It's something that's been studied a ton, and obviously go and Google it and figure out if any of this is true.
Get into that rabbit hole.
But the CBS News show 48 Hours once interviewed 5 sets of identical twins who were raised apart, including the following. The Giggle Twins, because they laugh and fold their arms the same way. Barbara Herbert and Daphne.
I've seen videos of them. It's crazy.
They spent the first 4 decades of their lives apart. In time following their reunion, they discovered some remarkable parallels in their lives. Both had miscarriages, followed by the birth of 2 boys, then 1 girl. Identical twins Tom Patterson and Steve Tazumi had very different upbringings. Raised in a Christian family by 2 janitors in rural Kansas, Tom managed to choose the same career as his brother Steve, who lives in Philadelphia, was raised in a Buddhist household, and both men own bodybuilding gyms. And the last one here, Jacqueline, I think you might be the missing one here. Let me read it. Debbie Mailman and Sharon Posset were also raised by families of different faiths. But nature versus nurture prevails in some interesting ways with these women. They both have the unusual habit of crossing their eyes when they get excited.
Okay, so actually here's the problem. My cross-eyed is baked into me because I am cross-eyed. that is, I'm not doing that on purpose when I think something's funny or I get excited. That's just happening because I get real tired sometimes.
Could you imagine being around those twins and you tell a joke? You know, they're listening to our podcast and they're just laughing nonstop, just cross-eyed. And you
completely
think they're
going cross-eyed?
You think they're just trolling you the entire time? You're like, could you guys not do that?
Mine is sadly a tell of when I get real sleepy and my like, time to go to bed. One of my eyes. No, it's like one of my eyes is already going to bed.
I'm out.
Okay. Yeah, I might be the third missing sister.
It's a very interesting topic. I think that so much of what we have, not us as a family, I'm talking about people in general, it is genetic and there's nothing we can do. But I do believe that when it's called out and worked on, it can actually be changed.
Like recoded?
Of course.
Like the code can be like redone. Like I imagine like a little hacker inside just being like, like now you know how to deal with anger.
Wait. He's not going to Tim Hortons. Anger. Punch the window. Punch the window. Yeah.
Actually, when we saw the movie, you know, you've seen Inside Out, right? Both of them. Have you seen both of them?
Yeah. To the annoying point that I cry at the. Yeah.
Obviously, you cry. You have a daughter.
Yeah.
But the second one, because anxiety is the main character, at the end when anxiety has a panic attack and it starts spinning, when I was in the movie theater, that caused me to have a panic attack because I was so stressed out, like the feeling, like I was like, I can't breathe. I gotta get out of here.
All the Pixar animators are cracking their knuckles, checking their lorazepam stocks going through the roof.
Yeah, don't worry. I contributed to that because I was standing out in the movie lobby popping pills because I had a panic attack watching a Pixar movie.
Which I believe is part of the point.
They did that to me on purpose.
If there's one thing I know about Pixar, it's their support.
Yeah, and that's okay. If anger's one of the extra members of the family, so is anxiety. We all have it.
Yeah, I think humor is also the other one. That might be more
nurture. Okay, humor, anxiety, anger. Those are the ones that are inside of our heads. That's our inside out.
Yeah. But like, I think the fact that we have to find humor in things that maybe are slightly irreverent or situations where you shouldn't find humor. We're like, let's just try to.
We are. Our family is deeply unserious. We're deeply unserious, I would say.
Yeah. Almost offensively so if you don't know or haven't had exposure.
Yeah, it's bad. You'd be offended.
Yeah. And I see that. I don't know if you see it in your kids. I know we've got to get to wrap up here, but I don't know if you see it in your kids. Yeah. I definitely see it in both of my daughters. I see Noah trying to find humor and trying to like crack jokes or trying to like make things that shouldn't be funny a little bit funny to take the edge off or to get everybody laughing and create like a unit of. And then I see it in Naya with her delight and joy with doing things that are bad, throwing phones down.
That's you. Yeah, that's you and Daniel.
Yeah, I see that in her. I'm like, you know what? I can't even be mad. This is the time I can't be mad because I also am entertained by this. What's crazy to me
is when you have kids and I see my siblings in them even more so than myself sometimes. Like I'm like, oh, like I've said before, my middle child is Daniel, and it is extremely triggering when he says things that sound like Daniel to me as a teenager. And I'm like, okay, so we're going to have a fight right now because of the way you're talking, because it sounds too much like Daniel. And my daughter, Addie, is a lot like Jonathan. They are very similar as far as they take care of themselves. They are no trouble. They are just really great people on their own. Like nobody has to ask them to do anything. And so a lot of the times I've talked to Jonathan before because I was like, I have this, issue with Addison or whatever. I don't want her to feel a certain way. Like, how would I approach this? And I can ask Jonathan because I know Jonathan feels the same way. It's just weird. It's weird when you have kids and you're like, okay, so they're not like me. They're like my siblings. And that's for better or worse.
Well, for you, if one of them is like Jonathan, I think that's for better.
It's for better. Like if you're going to choose one to have a kid like, you pick Jonathan for sure. That's the one that we want to filter down evolutionarily into other children.
Does Justin call certain things out? Like Seiko will also, her way to diffuse the situation is like, okay, Porter. And it's like, she's not saying Porter as if calling me by my street name. She's saying Porter to identify this as a family trait. She'd be like, okay, Porter. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And now I'm angry.
Absolutely. Justin has been part of many a fight where he says, oh my gosh, this is Porter, that you're being such a Porter right now. And like, so
yeah, you can't even be angry, but
let's
you
take
will.
This outside. Let's take it outside.
You can't even be angry, but you will. Let's go. You're bumping your chest against his chest. Let's go.
Okay, guys.
You want to do this, bud? You want to do this, bud?
We're always ready for a fight, but also we want to be respectful. That's for. We're always ready for a fight in our brain, and we play the fight over, and then when it comes to it, we're like, no, thank you. Good day, sir.
No, I'll never say. Go ahead. I'm okay to lose all those photos. Go ahead.
Okay, I really could talk about this topic forever. Like this is something that I just love to just excavate, but we do need to wrap this up.
Yeah. So what I really loved about today is that we have been recording for about an hour and a half. The main topic has taken up maybe 7 minutes. Maybe 7 minutes.
I think that's the right ratio, right? That's the ratio, that's the ratio we're looking for.
That's what people tune in for, right? Right, Jonathan? Right?
Right, Jonathan.
You made it this far, right?
Jonathan turns it off. He's like, I was promised a science podcast. Turns it off.
Deep dive into genetic conditioning. I don't know. I'm trying to say something smart. I don't know.
And identity.
Yeah. And identity.
Okay. I have our text of the week.
Hit me.
And you know what? This time it's coming for me. So, because I'm the main character. I'm the funny one. And I had texted you guys that I was just cutting Aaron's fingernails, which is his most hated thing of all time. He was retching and moaning about it. I said, wow, good thing you're going to be in a play because you're the most dramatic person I've ever met. And he said, I thought Gigi was. Gigi being our mother. So there's something that has trickled down as well. It's very dramatic, and so is my son, who is going to be in a play.
Who's going to be in a play? Fitting. And me, who will be auditioning for some type of screen adaptation of Hamlet.
I did say, moral of the story, watch what you're saying around your children, because I have often, behind her back, called Mom the most dramatic person of all time, and he has picked up on it.
That's hilarious.
So speaking of dramatic things, I think it's time that we get over the Little Monsters debacle of 2025.
Are we going back into a film?
And watch a movie. I think it's time. And I was thinking about which movies. I was actually asking Justin. Justin's 4 years older than me. So like sometimes our childhood movies and things. Yeah, but there is a little bit of a generation gap. He's an elder millennial where I'm just like a straight millennial, I feel like. And so he was like, our movies don't overlap. And I was asking him, have you ever watched the movie called Flight of the Navigator? And he has not. And I think Flight of the Navigator would be a great one to revisit. I want to see a like Willow. Remember we watched Willow. Willow held up. I'll watch Willow all day, every day. I want to see if Flight of the Navigator is only fun when I was 10 or if it's good still today.
I'm very excited about this one because I loved this one as a kid.
I really loved Flight of the Navigator. I feel like it was one of the ones we watched a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if we were just renting it a lot from Video 99 or we owned a copy.
Yeah, we owned a copy. I think it was recorded from like a CBC. Like I think I had commercials. I had commercials on the recording.
Okay, yeah, this is making sense to me now that it was recorded and it was commercials. So yeah, we're gonna find it. I haven't even looked to see like what service it would be on, but I'll find it. Let's see if everybody wants to watch along. Flight of the Navigator. Let's get into it. And I feel like there's not going to be any weird undertones.
Let's hope.
So I feel like this. I feel like this is going to be pretty safe. So I feel good about this one.
All right, cool. Well, let's watch it and we will circle back in 2 weeks.
All right. Sounds good to me.
All right. Enjoy the play twice.
Okay. I'm going to be in it.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay. Bye.